Hi everybody. Here's my review of Neil Diamond's Stages box set, which I believe was released, I want to say, in 2003. Um, the full title of the box set is Stages Performances 1970 to 2002. Now, this box set is so cool because all it is live performances. And as you know, I am, if you've been subscribed to this channel for a while, you know that I'm a huge live music fan. And so, um, by the time I got this box set, I was a pretty big Neil Diamond fan. I used to hate him, and then a friend in high school turned me on to him, and actually gave me my first Neil Diamond CD. So that's when it all started for me. So by the time I had obtained this box set, I was a pretty big Neil Diamond fan, and so I was overjoyed, um, when I looked at the track listing for this box set, because it has a lot of songs that I didn't have live versions of, like well, we'll get to that in a second. And then, so it's 4 CDs and a DVD. The DVD is highlights from his show in Dublin, Ireland, from his 2002 tour, which was his first tour after 9/11. And the first two discs are his show from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas on that same tour. I think he was touring behind the three-chord opera album, I believe. And so he does a few songs from that in the show, but not as many as you think. The majority of the show is just hits and a few rarities thrown in there for a good measure. Um, the version of the show opens with America, and the 2002 version of America is probably one of my all-time favorite versions of America, because he traveled with a small string section in 2002, and they just add immensely to the songs, and especially with America. And this version rocks so hard. It's actually my other favorite version is from the Hot August Nights 2 record, which we'll be discussing in a later video. And and the show progressively builds from there. I mean, they after American, they continue on with A Mission of Love. I think that's from Three Chord Opera. And actually, after I had heard the live version of the song, I went back and listened to the album, the studio version, and it is drastically different from the live version. I was expecting it to rock just like the live version did, and I was surprised. Um, and then towards the end of the show, he does a tribute to his steel drum player, Vince Charles, I believe, was his name, who had passed away. I think shortly, judging from Neil's comments, I think shortly before the tour commenced, and so the band do a song called Captain Sunshine for him because um, he was prominent on that song, I would guess. And so anyway, so but the first two discs are like um, the first two discs are like the complete MGM Grand show. And actually, I would think, I think that uh, that is kind of the way to go when you're doing a live retrospective, multi CD retrospective, because it shows Neil in 2002, and then the rest of the set, you know, and then the rest of the set goes. It starts in 1970, so it goes backwards, and but like the third disc starts out with Lordy, which was on Neil's first live record, Gold, which was recorded at the Troubadour, and um, and then it meanders through the 70s and through the decades of his performance career, after that. And some of my favorites on the set are The Last Picasso, Longfellow and Longfellow Serenade, and a song um, from, I believe, his Heartlight album, or one of the ones in the mid '70s, a song called Guitar Heaven. I love that. I love that song. And then he also does some tremendous covers of other people's songs. Like he the he does one of my all time favorite covers of Rocket Man by Elton. I love that. I love Neil Diamond's version of Rocket Man, and he does a funky version of his own. You Got to Me, and like I mentioned a second ago, The Last Picasso, Longfellow Serenade, The Last Thing on My Mind, which I believe the first time I heard it was when my friend Sugarcane Jane covered it in one of their webcasts. But and and He does a version of the Abbey Road medley as well. Um, and so a really it's a really career spanning set of songs. And then the fourth um, CD is a CD of live performances from back when his first two Christmas records came out. And actually, we will be, just as an aside, we will be pre-recording or pre-shooting the review for the Christmas records on Wednesday, and then that will be posted. That's scheduled to be posted on Christmas Eve, and but really the this is really one of my favorite discs of the whole set because I love the way he does some of these Christmas numbers. Like my favorite, he does my absolute favorite version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and I've been singing that version for years. It's my absolute favorite, and it really kind of reminds me. It rocks. I mean, but and then. And then he does stuff like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Winter Wonderland, and stuff like that. And he does a beautiful version of the Cat Stevens song, Morning is Broken, which is on one of the Christmas records. So we will be talking about that during the Christmas review. And so it's a really fascinating. The whole box set is a really fascinating look at Neil's career, and and like I said, the DVD is highlights from the Dublin performance from the 2002 tour. Which I believe some of the highlights on there are I'm a Believer, Soliman, which is one of my favorite songs. I don't know if Red Red Wine's on there or not, but because I know it's on the MGM show. But anyway, so it's a really good set, and if you're a Neil Diamond fan, you will enjoy this, and I give it about 5 stars. Coming up, like I said, Wednesday, we will be pre-shooting for posting on Christmas Eve our review of both of the Christmas records, volumes 1 and 2. Now, the way this is going to work is that we are going to just review them both at the same time, kind of like what we did with the Picking On series, where we reviewed both of the Picking On records at the same time and just made them one big giant review. I just decided to do it that way, since I had them, instead of just breaking them down into one review. So that's coming up on Wednesday, and then coming up maybe Friday, we will be doing our long-awaited review of Neil Young's long-awaited CD release of Time Fades Away. So really, there's only 3 reviews this week. the Christmas record, the Neil Diamond Christmas records, and this one, and then Time Fades Away. So that's all coming up in the next couple days. And like I said, I give it 5 stars, and have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Oh, and if I'm just estimating on the Time Fades Away, if it doesn't come Friday, if the review doesn't come, if the review isn't posted on Friday, it will be posted sometime over the weekend. I was just estimating that it would be Friday because I have to wait for the CD to arrive in mail. So, have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody.